I've partied with Dana White. August 2010 for UFC 117, which was held at the Oracle in Oakland. I was living in San Francisco, as I'm from San Francisco, and it was Thursday at the Hustler Club, so it would have been like August 5th because it was August 7th when the fight took place. So that Thursday I was hanging out at the Hustler Club because of my former life. I was a cannabis broker, and so I spent a lot of time in gentlemen's establishments because money was free. And I was hanging out at the club, hanging out with my friend Jessica, who worked there, and I saw this group of people, and I saw this, and everybody was paying attention to them. So when you're in the club and you see a bunch of people paying attention to the group, you kind of want to see what's going on. And I looked and I saw Dana White, and I was like, oh, wow, that's Dana White. So I walked up to Dana. I was like, "Hey, I'm James. I work with Jake Shields." We were doing a promotional drop with so my buddy had a fight clothing company, and it was called Savage Inc. Fightwear. And our cover story, because we were in the cannabis industry, is that we had a clothing company, and that was my buddy used that to launder his cannabis product or cannabis profits rather. So we were doing a drop and a party with Jake Shields, an after party at Row nightclub that Saturday after the fight. And I told Dana, I was like, "Hey, I work with Jake Shields. I have some ideas about the UFC. I was, looking to connect and network." And Dana said, "Hey, come to Row Neck tomorrow. We're having a party at the same place that we were doing our after party. They were doing a pre-party." So I met Dana. The next night I hang out with Dana at the VIP at Row, and we small talk and just kind of discuss things in life. And I get his email, which I still have, and I'm sure it's still the same email 16 years later. And I sent him some ideas. I said that, you guys should partner with former fighters to open up gyms, and you guys should have a digital library of all the fights that you guys have. And now we have UFC gyms and we have UFC Fight Pass. And maybe Dana would have figured that out had I not sent him an email, but I sent him an email in August of 2010 with some ideas for the UFC, and they went on and did those things. So that was pretty cool. And we also, that after party, I'm going to put a picture in after, with Jake and I wearing the shirts that we did for the drop. And Chuck Liddell was there. Bautista, David Bautista when he was just a wrestler. Eddie Bravo. I mean, really was the who's who. Having gone to the pre-party and the post-party, the UFC pre-party at Row, which is across from the Gold Club. I don't know what it is now. It was on 2nd and Harrison, I believe, or either Harrison or Howard, wherever the Gold Club is in the Soma of San Francisco. That's where the Row nightclub was, right directly across from the Gold Club. So the pre-party that Dana and the UFC hosted was nowhere near as lit as the Savage Inc. Fightwear post-party or post-fight party that we had. I mean, it was jam-packed. I actually smoked weed with Nate Diaz that night in the street of Row. And I went on to smoke weed with his brother Nick like 5 or 6 years later at the Roosevelt in Hollywood. So that was my night partying with Dana White. I think I might have given him some billion-dollar business ideas inadvertently as a fan. And when I was that age, I thought I would have gotten an email back, "Hey, thanks for some great ideas." But now that I know who Dana is, he just saw those ideas like, "Oh, those are great ideas. I'm just going to do those things." And as a fan, I'm just kind of cool. It's kind of cool that I even had that kind of impact and the way it helped grow the sport and the brand. Because I love fighting. I love mixed martial arts. If you're here, you probably know that. So that's a little bit of lore, as the kids like to say, about my background, the things that I've done, and why I'm even making videos about mixed martial arts is that I've been around the sport for a very long time. I've made relationships with fighters like Jake Shields. I've smoked weed with Nick and Nate, hung out with Dana. So I really have lived a pretty charmed existence when you're talking about mixed martial arts. But that's also kind of what makes MMA special. You can go into a gym and train with where the fighters are. You might not be able to train with that fighter per se, but you can be in the room, share the mats. When I was in training jiu-jitsu in San Francisco, I live in the Oakland Hills now. When I was training jiu-jitsu in San Francisco, We would have like Yuri Samoas, Jake Shields come in and train at 10th Planet San Francisco because Denny, my coach, was friends with them. And that is the special. You'll never play football with somebody in the NFL. Can't play with NBA players. You can't play with baseball players, but you can walk into a gym and train alongside your favorite fighters. And that's what makes fighting so special and so unique. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. I am Mr. 3. This is Mr. 3 MMA. I'm always going to try my best to be my best. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.